I know we are avoiding it. I know we're like looking at this thing, facing it down, and saying,
"Oh, look, it's a bird. Let's talk about birds."
Birds, yes, birds. Anything. Okay, so Netflix.
There's a bird picture.
Netflix is in a bit of a hot water there with their new show they want to release, which is called Cuties. Cuties, that sounds like a
Oh my gosh.
nice, nice name, right?
Whenever you actually said that name earlier, the audio cut out, and now that you actually say it and I know the context behind it.
Well, they don't know the context yet.
Right, but
let the river let us continue down this river. Don't stop the boat.
I'm not gonna tell anybody what we're talking about.
So okay, so they got a new show called Cuties. They want to put out. They've already been under hot fire for this, for good reason. It's immoral. It says Netflix is immoral for a true Christian. Netflix has some good stuff. It's just their stuff they produce is a piece of crap. So okay, let's go ahead and show this. This art. I'm a little hesitant on doing this, just because I'm worried that YouTube might take me down just for showing this advertisement picture. Now remember, this is Netflix advertised this. It was out there, and this was considered a kids show. They're advertising this for kids. It's a kids show, so be warned. Be warned. And let's just do this thing. Let's rip it off like a freaking Band-Aid.
Ah!
So this is their poster that they were going around. They were going to announce this as their poster.
Yeah.
How is this not illegal? How is it? I'm sorry. If YouTube does take me down for this, I can't really blame them too much. Okay, that's enough of that. Putting that off. You. Go back to us. Okay. Oh, that thing in mind. Oh, now I feel like I gotta wash my brain out with bleach. Needless to say, they put this out. They got some backlash.
That was gross.
They should cancel it. They should go back and rethink their concepts of what is child appropriate. Needless to say, this is pedophilia, plain and simple. This is very openly pedophilia, sexualizing kids. This is nothing but sexualizing these kids. I mean, you got kids on there twerking. You got kids on there doing all these sexy dances. It's like, guys, no, I know we've gone down the river. I know the trans community has gone down with making boys who are dressed up like women dance for the entertainment of gay men, which is beyond me. So I need to wash my eyes out of. Yeah, you're telling me I had to prep for this thing. And it was something that was topical, but I was like, I don't want to do it. Don't make me do it, mommy. It's too late now. We're sucked into this thing. How is it a thing can't? No kidding. No kidding, but it is just like drag queens and the whole dressing up, the trans community that they have, pushing it on young kids. I mean, this is where they are going with this. This is the path that they are going. And right now they're trying to classify pedophilia as a sexual orientation. Not as something that's wrong, but a sexual orientation.
You know what, this reminds me of freshman year when I was speaking against homosexuality, and somebody just went up to me and was like, "You are going a dark, dark path," and they weren't wrong.
It's funny how they make those accusations against us and then turn around and do the same thing.
Right.
They're really projecting their feelings there. They're like, "You're going down a dark, dark path." And I was in Scouts. I was a Scoutmaster for about 7 years at my local troop. The same troop that I went through as a Scout. And my brothers joined. I was excited. It was cool. Then, of course, they had the whole gay movement thing, right? Gay movement came through and basically blackmailed the Boy Scouts into being forced into this, allowing gay Scouts in, because originally they're saying, no, that's immoral. We are not a Christian organization, but hey, we are a Christian founded group. We stick to those morals. And homosexuality is immoral. So no, we're not doing it. It went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Boy Scouts won. So legally, they had all the rights to say, no, we're not allowing this. And then suddenly, the whole LGBTQ group decided to start blackmailing, basically. They went to the major donators of the Boy Scouts and said, either we are going to tell you that you're such a hateful group and we're going to tell everyone to stop buying your stuff, or you can stop supporting the Boy Scouts. Eventually, the Boy Scouts did cave after many, many, many of their supporters had left. And I stayed in scouting during that. I stayed in the scouting group. I said, this is wrong. We're going down a bad path. We're starting to slip down the slope. And it is a slippery slope. And people get upset with me all the time. Hey, that's a slippery slope argument. Well, yes, if it's a slippery slope, it is a slippery slope. It does not make the argument invalid if I'm saying that it is a slippery slope when it is that. So I warned the other Boy Scout leaders, say, hey, this is not where it's going to stop. And lo and behold, a couple years later, trans scouts. Boys, girls, doesn't matter. Whatever you put on your application, what will believe you are.
My gosh. Oh,
I also warned the scouts, the scout masters, you guys need to quit. Don't go down this path. There's going to be many, many lawsuits against you because you're just opening yourself up to nothing but opportunities for sin to happen, opportunities for abuse to happen. And as of last year, I think they did still declare bankruptcy last year, at the end of last year, because of a massive amount of lawsuits due to sexual harassment. But you see where the slippery slope goes. You see where that goes. And that's the same way in our culture where it's, okay, the original debate was, okay, get the government out of our bedroom. We don't want the government to tell us what is morally wrong and right as far as our bedroom goes. Get it out of there. Well, they got out of there. And then what happened? Well, now you need to start promoting it. You need to start accepting it. Then it was, we need to have Gay Pride Month. We need to be proud of this. And then it's the trans movement that came through. And now they're really starting to rev up this whole pedophilia thing. They're really starting to rev it up as not what's morally wrong, because let's be honest, when we look at transgender, it is a mental illness. It's called gender dysphoria. This has been a known fact, but they relabeled it as a gender identity and made it so that they can claim it as something to be prideful about and buy into this illusion, this crazy crackpot thing. And they're trying to do the same thing here with pedophilia. Now, here's where we're going to make an interesting turn. And my guests need to be ready for this. even though he wants to go crawl in his bed and cry.
I already did that yesterday. Continue.
So here's the question. As Christians, we just talked about our morality and where we get it from. Is pedophilia wrong, biblically speaking?
Yeah.
Where?
That's a good question.
Just clarification. I'm playing devil's advocate. I am not actually. This is not actually my points. I actually already have an answer on the ways I'd handle it. I'm just trying to see if you go through the same thought processes I did. So, where in the Bible does it say that pedophilia is wrong?
I feel like an idiot because I can't remember. I mean, to be fair, I don't remember a lot of Bible verses or where they're at. I do remember the "do not judge" passage, Matthew 7, and that's about it.
You should probably continue reading that one because slightly after that, it was removing the speck from your eye, and it says go remove the plank from your eye, and then go back to your brother and help remove the speck. People don't normally quote that second section, but
right. I love that passage. I love it.
It's the most misquoted passage ever,
but it's still a great passage.
It is. Foxy Global Gaming Ministry, which I did do a live stream with, like last month, I think. I don't know. It's been a while. Things have been going on. Crap's been happening. I've been talking about pedophilia today, so to be honest, my mind is in the gutter. This is not the best day. But he said, wait. Talking about lawsuits. Yes, the Boy Scouts of America got a lot of lawsuits when they let homosexuals in, and then they let trans in, and when they completely compromised themselves, they left themselves open to a lot of lawsuits. When I left the Boy Scouts, I said, guys, if you're going down this path, this is what's going to happen. And I laid it out. You're going to have a lot of lawsuits. You're going to have a lot of sexual harassment cases against you. And a couple years after I left, that's exactly what happened. And they have had to declare bankruptcy because of that. So that's what I was referring to. But the main subject we're talking about is Cuties on Netflix. I'm not going to show that image again, because I probably have to strike it from this live stream anyway, just to clear my conscience. It's really, really a sexual image of prepubescent girls. It really is. Underage minors. It really is just nothing but pedophilia there in that video.
I thought it was prepubescent boys dressed as girls.
No, those were girls.
I'm an idiot.
No, there's also, in addition to that, the whole trans community that's pushing boys dressed up as girls dancing in front of gay men in sexy outfits. Basically stripping. And that's empowering.
I hate that word.
Child abuse is beyond me.
And who else hates that word? Comment in the chat.
I really dislike that word. That's been so misused. So that's the subject that we're looking at.
I also hate the word research.
Research. So the question is that I proposed was, is pedophilia in the Bible wrong? How can we address this? And I'm doing this not because I already have an answer prepared. I've already gone through this and got an answer ready. I just want to see from your guys' standpoint if you guys are prepared to be able to address this, because this is what's coming down the pipeline. It was transgender, now it's this. Because they're trying to do the same thing with transgenderism as they are now doing. Well, they're trying to do the same thing with this as they did with transgenderism, by taking a mental illness and turning it into a sexual orientation, which is what they're trying to do with pedophilia. They're taking a sexual perversion, obviously a mental illness that needs to be addressed, and turning it into sexual orientation. Do you know of any other references in the Bible that would be interpreted that way? Because when I did my video on Homosexuality, I went through reference after reference after reference after reference, and here. All these say that it is wrong. Transgenderism, I did the same thing. So where does it say that pedophilia is wrong in the Bible? Again, justifying in any way, shape, or form, just clarifying.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I know it's there somewhere. I have faith that it's in there somewhere.
Your faith might have been misplaced a little bit, because it does. At nowhere does the Bible say that someone needs to be of this age.
Right.
It doesn't. The only benchmarks that we can really look to and say, that's kind of important is, of course, going through puberty, maturing. But that happens. I mean, in America, 18 is the age of consent, right?
Right.
18 is when. Join next time. Oh, okay. It's fantastic. You're more than welcome to. The age of consent is 18. Now, in some states, you kind of get wiggle room. Some states, if the parents sign off on it, then they can get married at 17. I think there's even one state that does 16. I'm not sure. I know in Europe right now, definitely in England, if memory serves, they are trying to move it back to 14. They're trying to get it moved back to 14 years old as the age of consent. Right now, I think it's at 16, if memory serves. So the question is, why? I'm just going to zoom in on America because that's my most experience, right? Why 18? Why is 18 the age of consent? Is that something that's set down biblically, or is that something that is set down by the government and enforced by the government? So that's the real question. Like I said, there's no biblical example saying that there's a certain age that needs to. There's not a certain age that needs to be hit before you can get married. It was a decision of the parents and of the individuals involved to get married. Miguel, do you know of any references or where that comes from? The age 18?
That no, I don't think so.
You don't? Okay. To be honest,
the age of consent in my state is actually kind of 16.
16? They've been trying to move it back in all the states.
In all of them.
So the age of consent is something that was done by the United States, who was put down forth as the magic number. Tell you truthfully, when I was 17, I can make just as good of decisions as I was 18. And I know young men who are immature up until they're 30. And even sometimes past. Okay, I know someone in particular I can think of that's still immature at the age of 50. Okay, we'll put that to the side. I'm not going to say who. Everyone can assume that it's actually them, but that's beside the point. So, it's not, that magic number is not something. It was something that was just, they set it down as saying, hey, this is a good age. Your mind's kind of developed at this point. We can say that this is the age that you need to be. The only thing that I can really point to is, of course, puberty as being the major breaking point. Other than that, you know what? And this is where it comes down to for me. Any sex that's outside of marriage is wrong. Period. Any sexual act outside of marriage is wrong, biblically. And that's where I have to stand. Regardless of your age. I don't care if you're 55 and you're doing something sexually outside of marriage, that's wrong. No matter what age you are. So I think that's the only place I can really stand with this issue that's coming down the pipeline. This is going to be something that we'll be talking about in the next couple of months. This is probably going to come through at I would do a little bit of prediction here, just a guesstimation.
A guesstimation.
A guesstimation. Yes, it's a
guesstimation.
Boy Scout term. A guesstimation
Okay.
on when this is going to become big. I'd say probably the end of this year, the beginning of next year. I think they're going to start really pushing it. Definitely if Joe Biden gets elected. Needless to say, he's got some questionable behavior involved. If you don't get that reference, you need to do some research.